There he is.
Hey,
How's it going?
it's going good, man. It's first time I've done this. It's actually cool.
Yeah, not bad, right? This first time I did it was like about a week ago, and now we did it a few times.
Awesome. How are you doing?
Have you have you been staying safe?
Oh yeah, we're keeping busy, staying at home. I've cleaned out my garage, cleaned out my office. I don't know what I'm cleaning next, but we'll figure something out.
Doing some of the
Am I,
chores that you mentioned for a while?
am I on like a? Do I have like a filter or something on? Why are their
No.
hearts going?
Oh, heart.
Was that just people putting stuff up?
Yeah, the hearts just mean people are happy.
Wait,
If you,
what the hell's on?
I was gonna
All
say,
right, go
if you
ahead.
had bunny ears, then you could be concerned. You don't.
Okay, all right, so we're good. No ears yet.
I saw you kicking the crap out of your heavy bag. That was awesome today.
Oh yeah, we're having a little fun with it. But yeah, so I got it all set up. We got all my workouts here, so we can still work out. So stay in the shape.
Yeah,
We're
that's what
getting
I was.
back in shape. Actually, for me, I'm coming off of 2 surgeries, and it's kind of been a good time to start easing back into getting workouts in.
Yeah, yeah. You get healthy again?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm clear to do everything now. So I had a neck surgery and a knee surgery. Just wear and tear. Everyone's like, "Oh man, what happened?" I'm like, I beat myself up for about 30, 40 years. So, it
Right.
happens.
It takes its toll after a while, right?
Right. Yeah, for sure.
So what were you doing for like rehab? Did they give you exercises for rehab? What you should be doing?
They didn't give me a lot of specific stuff. They kind of let me do my own thing. I've been doing this a long time, and it was just coming off of, just coming back from it was really easy. I went to therapy, went to the basic stuff, making sure I got my motion right away, and making sure, doing the stuff that, making sure you keep your flexibility and keep motion, keep working.
Sure.
But yeah, just I was trying to do everything right, do it and take time. Not big thing for me is not jumping back into it too fast, because I
Yeah,
just want to, once we get going, I'm just like, oh, okay, let's go. But your body hasn't been going that way for a while, so you need to build it back up and get it ready to go.
that's what it is. And as a former college wrestler myself too, anytime I get back on the mat, I try to go at the same pace I used to, and it's like, no, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, yeah. Like even back when I was training, when I was fighting, I said, oh yeah, I take off time but after a fight, but you really never took any time off. I was back in the gym next week. The time off meant I wasn't training me for a fight. I was training with Glover, Texero, or I was training with Scott Light, who was kickboxing. I was helping them get ready for fights. Um,
Yeah,
Not, so you're always in the gym. Taking time off was, at that time, was basically just you weren't focused on you getting ready for a fight.
did that help maybe like keep you refreshed so it wasn't like burning yourself out? Because long career, right? Doing it for a very long time, so it's how do you
Well,
keep fresh and
I
motivated?
love what I did. That's one of the biggest things. I love doing it. But then, going in and I love going to the gym. I love working with guys. I like helping other guys out. They help me out. They help me get where I was at. They help me get ready for my fights. I like to be there to help them get ready for their fights. And, I enjoy the time, man. I mean, just hanging out with the guys, busting each other's balls and having a good time with it. We
That's it.
give each other hard times.
Yeah, yeah. And we always talk so much about mindset. What kind of things did you do to like stay relaxed and to keep yourself focused? Because of course there's a lot of pressure and you could get hurt in your sport. So what kind of things did you tell yourself
Well,
to stay calm and everything?
I mean, the biggest thing for me was I needed to feel like I was going into a fight prepared. I needed to feel like I did everything I was supposed to do leading up to the fight. And I was always known for being so relaxed before a fight. And I was calm. I mean, my training and being nervous and getting worked up and worrying about and getting fired up ended that last day of training.
Yeah.
A week before the fight, really the last real day of training, a week before the fight was like, okay, I'm done. Now I relax. Because now
Yeah.
all we have left, we got to go stay loose, make weight, and win a fight. Go out and fight.
Yeah.
Go out and have some fun. And the fight was a reward for me. The training was the hard part. the fight was a reward. So I'm going out there now. All I got left is to have the reward. So what's there to worry about? And I was always a good like test taker, you know, growing up. I always, because I'd study. But as soon as I had to close the books and open the test, I relaxed because there's nothing left to do. Worrying about getting it right or not is not going to help you any. So why do it? And that's kind of how I feel about fighting. I worrying about it now. Once I close the books on my training, there's nothing I can do. You know, I still go over the stuff in my head. I still keep my stuff fresh, but I'm ready. I've been working on it for 10, 12 weeks. I know what I'm doing. I know who I'm fighting. I know my game plan. I know I'm in shape. I know I got ready. I know I'm sharp. There's nothing to worry about really. That's not overthinking, seeing there being no nervous and worrying about it all. For me, and this isn't for everybody. Some people they need that feeling, you know. But for me, that was allowed me to relax, and I'm not gonna waste energy being all tied up and bound, and you know, oh man, is this gonna happen? What if this happens? What if that happens? I've been through it all. I'm ready, and I just relax.
In my observations watching you fight, because I try to look at the fighter, I try to get in their head, see what's going on there. My observations of you, correct me if I'm wrong, it seemed like you were very much in the present moment. Like the awareness was there, you're in the present. It didn't seem like you were thinking about the outcome of the fight or what happened before. It seemed like you were right there. I mean, did you feel like that? And what helped you get to that?
That's a good way of putting it. I was always right there trying to set you up. I was so concentrated on worrying about reading what you're doing, how I can get you to do something I want you to do, react to something a fake that I do, or a combination. I get used to a combination, and then get you to react to it a certain way, and then I change it up so I can land something I need to, and it can end the fight. So I was always so concentrated on that. I wasn't worried about outcomes or what's going to happen next, or you know, I'm too busy fighting and trying to pick apart a guy who's most of the guys I fought were really good guys. So I'm trying to pick apart some really good fighters. So I'm concentrating on what I'm doing in the moment, and that's, you know, and that's one of the things. Like, well, after I was done fighting, I figured out that I missed a lot was, you know, there's not a lot of time. I got once a day I'd go, you know, spar, go wrestle, go do jiu-jitsu, you know, train with a guy. And that was the only time my brain shuts off and just concentrates on one thing. You know, my brain racing a million miles an hour all the time about everything and all the different things I'm thinking about. So the only time I actually got to relax, I was really relaxed, was when I was out there training and fighting, because that's all I would just concentrate on. Even when I'm working with a guy that's not real good, when I'm sparring, I'm working on, okay, how can I make this more difficult for me? How can I, and it's easier to learn some of the stuff I do. It's easy to pick up those signals guys that aren't as good give you. You know, you don't have to pick on them, but you know, you can pick up, oh, okay, I see it's a little more obvious. So now you can, once you learn how to read it on him, you can see it on someone bigger, someone better and better and better. I mean, I think, you know, funny thing is a Von Flu choke. I don't know if you know what that is, but it was a Von Flu, was a friend of mine, and he really developed that with meatheads at the gym. They were just big, muscle, strong guys that wouldn't let go of his head when they you know, and he just kind of developed that choke from working with guys that weren't real good. They're real strong guys, but they weren't real good. And so they didn't know that they needed to let go and get out. So they just hold on until they choke themselves out. You know, so I mean, but
that's a solid point you're making right there. Because one of the things we tell our wrestlers, because you know, there's a whole bunch of different teams around the country, and a lot of times high-level wrestlers in high school, especially, the whole team is kind of crummy, and then you have one guy who's a standout, but they're trying to be good on a crummy team. So one of the things we say is find ways to make it difficult for you, even with people you're a lot better than. And you kind of hit on that a little bit. So I wanted to, you said that basically, even if someone wasn't as good, you'd find ways to make it hard on yourself. I think that's a key. That's a key. How did you do
that? Find ways to make, okay, play games with yourself. Okay, I got to score this way. I'm not going to score that way. I'm not going to do this. You know, I mean, you don't have to tell him. You don't have to embarrass him. You know, and you know, but you know, but it's your work. You just work on things. There's always things you can do better. You can always improve on something, and that, you know, and if you got a guy that's halfway decent in front of you, or it can, you know, you can work with, you can work on something new.
Yeah. Did you ever think sometimes where maybe it's like, well, if I try that in practice, what if the guy gets the better of me? And if I don't do my best stuff, and what if I get into trouble? And like, you know, I don't want to lose to someone. Yeah.
But that's practice. You got it. You shouldn't. The big thing about practice. I mean, I get it. There is some of that in gyms and stuff. It's tough, but I mean, that's when, you know, if you go out and you practice. You know, I worked with a lot of great guys, and that my guys, we were a family. We worked out, and you know, I wasn't. I'm not embarrassed to get caught by someone, or get taken down by this guy, or caught by that guy, because they're great, and we're working on something. It's, you know, I can sit here closed. I can sit here. This when I was training, when I was fighting, I could sit there closed, and I could not just defending everything and anyone's guard, and you're not gonna sweep me. You're not gonna get me. You're just not. You weren't that. But you know, do I learn anything? Does it do anything for me? No, not at all. You know, I can sit there and counter and stand up and keep pushing off and just being real. You know, be just a counter fighter. Just don't let them do anything. Just stand up. Okay, does that make me better? No. I got really good quick at getting off the bottom and learning how to defend things in jiu-jitsu by starting. I spent most of my time when I first started doing jiu-jitsu putting myself in bad positions and getting out. You know, I don't start with guys mount. Yeah. I start guys. I started with guys with arm bars. You know, I'd start in bad positions and just fight my way out.
Yeah.
So
and see, people I think are so afraid to lose in practice, where a lot of times we get in our head like, I never want to get scored on. I never want this guy who I'm better than to get the better of me. So I think that's a really important mindset that you're saying right there, where you're focused on the process and getting better, and not on just not getting scored on, getting caught. You know, even if your friends tap after, oh, I got you, I tapped you out. It's like, so what?
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. You guys are I'm gonna give you a hard time all the time anyway. You know, and don't get me wrong, I've had guys do some crazy stuff where I'm like, I got up, so hey, all right, you want to go like that? That's how you want to do it? Let's go. Let's start from here.
Yeah.
Go. Let's do it. You know, I mean, the guy's trying to pop your. I mean, you're gonna roll and trying to pop my knee and an ankle that I gave you. You started with the heel hook. Don't just try to pop it from the. You know, I'm gonna kill you. You know, it's like. But most part you gotta go out there. If you're not learning, if I'm not learning, I'm not getting better. Why am I wasting my time?
No, that's right. That's right. And then before a fight, would you like to be more relaxed? Did you listen to music? Were there any things that you would tell yourself to keep yourself focused and not drifting? Like before?
No, it was never. That was never hard for me. I mean, I played music. I used to laugh. I used to play music. I put my iPod back in the day on random, and I would just play random songs. I'd laugh and joke around with my buddies. We'd warm up, and you know, for me, it was real easy. I mean, that walk out to the cage was pretty much the easiest way to get your mindset on the way out. I took a little time to enjoy walking out, but as you walk into that cage, I mean, you can just walking into it for me was just like, okay, I'm focused. Here we go. And like I said, I was ready. I was prepared. Everything's been drilled into me. I'm ready to go. I know what once I walk in there, and you know, and I can hear John in the corner yelling at me, and but I was ready. So as soon as they shut that door, I mean, I was ready to go.
That's it. You're like a fish let back in water. That's great. So was there ever a point in your career where you felt like there were certain things you were struggling with mentally and that you were able to overcome, whether it was putting too much pressure on yourself or thinking too much about letting other people down or thinking about past performance?
You know, honestly, I think that's kind of, I've done a whole story about it, but after I'd lost first time I lost 2 fights in a row in my career. I was, you know, I was starting to get that in my head where I was like, hey, you know, man, I don't want to let people down. Like, what am I slipping? What's going on? This is that. And John actually reached out to Tony Robbins and had him come by.
I see the infomercial, and you're in the infomercial. Yep.
Yeah, he reached out to Tony Robbins and asked, because John was a big fan, and asked him to come out and talk to me and at my house. And I was like, you know, and I honestly, I was like, you know, I didn't know I knew him as Banana Hands at the time. I knew him, the guy from Shallow Hal.
Yeah.
Movie Shallow Hal.
Oh yeah.
And so so he came in, and I was sitting there on he comes in, I invited him to my house. He's sitting there talking. I'm sitting on my couch talking to him. I'm on my phone going, yeah, with my phone. My John's like, Slash, what are you doing? Like, he came all this way to talk to you, and I'm like, oh, you know what? Okay, that's not the right way to treat anybody. I shouldn't be doing this. I had a chip on my shoulder. Like, I don't need this guy. I'm a world champion. I'm this. I'm that. You know, but then I talked with him, and you know, he helped me work through. Like, it's one of those things that we need to find out what's, you know, everybody has things, and what's causing you to, you know, my job is to figure out what puts you in a slump. What's got you where you got your mind, how you got your mind out. And really, you know, and he actually later, he did guided meditation right before the fight. And I went out, and that was the last fight I won, actually. It was right after that I went out and fought the next day and won. And basically the thing I got out of it was he got me back to, wait, you enjoy doing this. You do this for fun. This is what you like to do. Go out there and have fun. You know, go out and do your thing. Stop worrying about the outcome. Now, you know, don't let your mind get worried about what's going to happen if I lose, what's going to happen if I win. You know, so don't worry about all that. Get out and just focus on doing what you like. Focus on fighting. Go out there and fight. So
yeah.
So
that's
yeah. So
and especially during like a long season where it becomes a grind, guys forget that that they're having fun. Or once they get to the playoffs or like the championship season, they start to focus too much on winning, and they're just trying to get the competition over with instead of being in the present moment and saying, man, I live for this. I like the competition. But then sometimes they get into those stiff competition, and they're thinking like, oh man, I just want to get it over with, or I don't want this tough competition. I wish I had an easier guy. You have to get back. So one of the things we have them do is writing down, what do they love about tournaments? What do they love about matches? What do they love about practice? Getting back to it, because it's easy to forget that when times are tough.
Oh yeah, and it is easy. I mean, it's hard. You know, it's the hardest part about, I think, the losing in the beginning. The first time I ever lost was, you know, kickboxing, where everyone was you know, he's the champion, and you know, everyone heard I lost, and then just looking at coming around, looking at your friends, like they're like, they don't even want to look at you, right? And you're like, they don't know what to say. You're like, look, I'm fine. I messed up. I'll be back. I'm going to be better. Don't worry about it. You want to say that to them, but they don't want to say anything bad. So. And I see that in people, like they have that problem with you know, fight, like losing. They start worrying about, and then they start worrying about, oh man, I'm letting people down, and these people, you know, and how am I gonna look? What are they gonna think of me? And this and that. Hey man, if you know, don't worry about it. And then you got the whole online thing nowadays. People, you know, you could be a hero one moment, and then the next day you're the worst guy ever. You never should have. Yeah, he was the best. And then you see, you know, that you lose a fight, and then all of a sudden, oh, he can't beat anybody. That guy should have never been there anyway.
Yeah, it's like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, I remember coming up, I was fighting, I think, Paul Jones, and they're like, oh, he's next for the title and this and that, and then I beat him something, and yeah, I'm gonna be, they're gonna be talking about me for the title. And nah, Jones wasn't that good anyway. Like, what? Wait, what? back then, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, that's why we tell our athletes all the time, we make a difference between the predator and the prey mindset. A predator animal has their eyes in the front of their head, right? So they're focused on what they can control. The prey animal has their eyes on the side. So we say eyes on the front like to hunt, eyes on the side like to hide. So if you're focused on outcomes, other people's opinions, social media, records, rankings, seedings, predictions, that's prey mindset. You're looking around. You want to be in the present. You want to focus on what's going on in front of you.
Yeah, I mean, and when it comes down to it, rankings and all that stuff, that's cool and fun, and going to talk about with your friends and for your parents to brag about or whatever. But when it comes down to it, they don't help you when you go in that match. There's been plenty of
Right.
guys that were not ranked very high that done very well.
Yeah. No,
So
absolutely. Now, I'm curious with Tony Robbins. So, did you guys spend a few hours together? Was it a few days? How did that? Was it an ongoing thing?
well, I the first day it was about an hour, and then I went to one of his events,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and then actually he came and did a guided meditation for me the night before the fight. He came up and talked to me and went through a thing, kind of did a whole thing where he's like, so okay, I want you to do a meditation, close your eyes, and tell me about the most important thing, the best thing that's ever happened to you in your life. Now, don't tell me about it. Don't say anything. Just think about it. And when we went through 5 things, and he said, okay, now open your eyes. He said, does any of those have anything to do with fighting? And I went, no, no, they don't. So then just go have fun. Go have a good time. And I'm like, you're right. It's one of those things. You know what? Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna go out, and I went out. I had a great fight. I had a great time.
That's awesome. I loved his stuff. A lot of people don't realize, but when I started building wrestling mindset, I went through my mom's whole personal power series on Tony Robbins. So I was scribbling.
Yeah,
I was a sophomore at Rutgers University, and this is back in the tape days, right? That put the tape in the
right.
car. This is dangerous. I don't recommend anyone do this, but I was taking notes. I was looking at the road, but with my right hand, I was scribbling the notes to the personal power series about everything Tony Robbins was talking about. But one of the cool things he had on top of the tapes, there was a workbook. And I noticed this was my mom's workbook. She only did like the first 5 lessons. But in my mind, I said those lessons, that's what the key to success is. So we made the mindset program. I took a lot of Tony Robbins information and created wrestling specific exercises, like similar to the stuff he had, but I wanted to make it specific to sports. So it's pretty cool. I have a lot of respect for him. He's got a lot of great stuff.
Yeah, and that's actually why Hack said he used a lot of his principles. My trainer, John Hackelman, used a lot of his principles to train me. That's why he started talking to Tony in the first place to have him come out and visit me.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Tony's
crazy.
a great dude too. I've known him for years now, and he's a good man.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'd love to tell him sometime that I used a lot of his program to format our sports mindset programs because, man, it's great. He was such an inspiration for me. But no, that's great stuff. And how many athletes are saying it's 90% mental, but then they're training 90% physical? Well, you got to kind of like bridge that gap, right? Like making sure we're working on both.
All right, exactly. I mean, it's very important. And I do a lot of stuff with talk to guys, and I've always been as a coach, I'm kind of a little bit lazy that way. Is I don't want to. I tell guys I don't want to deal with the guy that's not mentally tough because I don't want to, because it's hard to teach. And sometimes some think that mental toughness is not an easy thing to build, but it's also something I've learned, and I always had this theory about it, but I think I've learned it's one of those things. It's an everyday thing. It's not a sometimes thing. You can't turn it on and off. I try to tell guys all the time, you can't quit in practice because you're tired and expect to not do it when you're tired in a fight.
Exactly.
And I'm not talking about, hey, take it easy because okay. But you're the only one that'll know. Are you taking it easy because you don't want to get hurt because you're just being careful, or are you taking it easy because you're tired? And hey, you're the only one that can know for sure if you give up because you're tired, or you let it go because you're too tired, or if your body gives out. You're the only one that knows that for sure. But if you continue to do it, you're not going to win. You have to learn. I mean, you have to teach yourself, and it's an everyday thing. It's not a sometimes thing. And I think if you start doing that about other things, you can. I read a lot on teaching it too. Nowadays, I got interested a little bit, but it's one thing. If you start just with simple routines and start building, you can build up that from just you promise yourself you're going to do this. I always talked about paying the piper when we were doing it, because we go, what you got to do tomorrow. So no matter what you do today, you go out tonight. I got my buddies. Hey, you want to go out? Go ahead. I don't care. Fighters want to go out and party, where you show up tomorrow.
Yeah.
and you give me 100%.
Yeah.
You go show up tomorrow and you give me 100%. If you
Yeah.
don't, then maybe you can't do that next time. Don't do that next time because you can't do it. But you got to pay the piper. You know what you got to do the next day. Get up and do it. But it's one of those things.
No, I think you nailed it there. You're right that it's an all the time thing. A lot of times people, they compartmentalize it, and you're saying no. You're like, you don't compartmentalize it.
If you can't, you're not going to turn it on. The problem is if you're not going to be. You can't turn it on and off at will. When time gets really tough, really hard, it's going to it's either going to be there or not. If you got to question it, then it might not be there for you. Maybe it will. Some people, maybe they can turn on, but certain things, you're better off the more consistent you are with it, the better you are. But if you can't quit in practice, you're probably going to quit in a fight.
Hey, you're a heck of a mindset coach, Chuck. That's exactly what we're saying to the people too, that only you know deep down why you're not putting out the full effort, right? It's like we tell them that now, make sure, write it down on paper. What is it? Is it because you're afraid of getting tired? Is it because you're lazy? Like actually having them write it down, taking that next step. But you're right. Only you know why you're not putting out that full effort. So if people aren't honest with themselves, forget about it. They're not going to be successful. I'd assume that was probably also a big part of your success, that even when times were tough and even when there was difficult things to deal with, you still were honest with yourself, I'd assume.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's one of those things. It's a mindset thing. I mean, Sammy Hansen's a good friend of mine, and he was coaching kids at Cal Poly, and he'd bring his. I was wondering why he was bringing some of his wrestlers in to watch me train, get ready. I'm out of shape, not any kind of fight shape. I say out of shape because I was, I hadn't been training for a fight. It was 10 weeks out. I'm just starting my hard stuff, and he bring him in. Why is he bringing these guys in? And I finally clicked in my mind. He's putting me through workouts that they've done and they've seen, and he wants to watch them. Look at this is a 40-year-old man,
right,
kicking your ass on this workout, and this is the first day of camp, and he wanted to be able to show him that and see this is what you want to be. You want to be him. You want to be a champion. That's what you got to do. Right. So it was kind of cool. I'm kind of that's kind of cool, but.
No, you're right on that.
You get those examples from guys like me, like that. You get that without even trying. I mean, I went and wrestled with Cal Poly practice. Just went and wrestled with the guys, and we did a competition at the end where you basically, it was 10 different stop and go things where however many you won, you got. So if you lost all 10, you had to do 10 sets of the sprints. But if you won all 10, you didn't have to do any. Well, I won all 10, and I ran all 10. And everyone was like, "What? Why are you running? Why are you both running?" I'm like, because I'm not letting you outwork me.
Exactly.
I never let anybody outwork me. I mean, when I was in high school, I had my wrestling coach. He wrestled for the police Olympics or whatever, the Olympic team, whatever their thing was, and at my same weight. And he actually made the mistake of challenging me for conditioning, and double or nothing for conditioning, and I pinned him in the first period, and then I said okay, and then he said okay, we're doing double. They're like, what? I was like, wait, we don't have to no, we're doing double. I won, we're doing double. So the whole team went to double. We did double conditioning. So, but that was the way I was. But I was always wanted to be in better shape than the guys I was wrestling when I back in. I wasn't the best technical wrestler in high school. We didn't have a lot of technique, so I needed to be in better shape than you to beat you.
Yeah, no, and that's why Sammy Henson brought his wrestlers around you, because a lot of people think they're tough until you actually get around the best in the world and you realize there's a whole nother level to this, and I could really elevate my game. So that's why we tell all of our people all the time, you got to study the best people in the world, right? That's why all these insights you're with us, your training, your mindset, like. That is huge. I hope our viewers are taking notes.
I love that. That's one of the reasons I loved having Sammy around. He came out late in my career, but man, he not to mention his technical thing, but he just his mindset and he's really fun to have around. Keeps you on your toes.
That's great. That's great. Awesome stuff, Chuck. Hey, I really appreciate it. I could do this all night, but great. I thank you for coming on. Thank you for all the great tips you've shared. Like I said, I hope all of our viewers, you get to study from the best in the world, listening to his mindset and what he does to train. Man, that should just fire everyone up. Everyone should be ready to go for a run now. Thanks, Chuck. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Take it easy, guys.
All
Nice
right,
talking to you.
stay safe.